thought we might look at something a little bit different tonight. One of the plays that had some sort of strange impact on me concerning, I don't know, parallel between it and some of the things we might see and hear today, and if not, very soon on our streets. And this particular opening act of CORIOLANUS gives us some insights outside of even our inclinations towards how we think things are and what we expect of the military and our leaders in parliament and government and these sort of things, and how the angry mob of people and their entitlement, how it governs their tongue. I think Shakespeare's taken a pretty good look at this. I don't know what the idea behind this character of Coriolanus was. I mean, what the derivatives were for Shakespeare. Was there information about this individual along these lines that were presented with in the opening act, or was this completely Shakespeare's device? I don't know, his own creation. I'm not really sure. Perhaps some of you know. But anyway, it always from the very first time I heard it, it just kind of blew me away. I don't think it would have in my teenage years, but having a taste of life and working for a few decades, I think it might have changed my opinion of things. Anyway, it's Act 1, Scene 1. Enter a company of mutinous citizens with staves, clubs, and other weapons. First citizen. Before we proceed any further, hear me speak. All. Speak! Speak! First citizen. You are all resolved rather to die than to famish. All. Resolved! Resolved! And it was only recently that I realized the absurdity of that line, right? The first citizen coming out and saying, you are all resolved to rather to die than to famish. Like, what? Sort of like saying, you're ready to die before you die. Like, so stupid. I think Shakespeare's already trying to show us something silly here. But anyway, it's not a comedy, it is a tragedy, but he's pointing that absurdity out. Okay. First citizen. First, Caius Marcius is chief enemy to the people. All. We know it. We know it. First citizen. Let us kill him, and we'll have corn at our own price. It's a verdict? All. No more talking on it. Let it be done. Away! Away! Second citizen. One word, good citizens. First citizen. We are accounted poor citizens, the patricians good. What authority surfeits on would relieve us? If they would yield us but the superfluity, while it were wholesome, we might guess they relieved us humanely, but they think we are too dear. The leanness that afflicts us, the object of our misery, is as an inventory to particularize their abundance. Our sufferance is a gain to them. Let us revenge this with our pikes, ere we become rakes. For the gods know I speak this in hunger for bread, not in thirst for revenge. Second citizen. Would you proceed especially against Caius Marcius? First citizen. Against him first. He's a very dog to the commonalty. Second citizen. Consider you what services he has done for his country? Very well, and could be content to give him good report for it, but that he pays himself with being proud. Second citizen again. Nay, but speak not maliciously. First citizen. I say unto you, what he hath done famously, he did it to that end. Though soft-conscienced men can be content to say it was for his country, he did it to please his mother, and to be partly proud, which he is, even to the altitude of his virtue. Again, absurdity, right? Second citizen. What he cannot help in his nature, you account a vice in him. You must in no way say he is covetous. First citizen. If I must not, I need not be barren of accusations. He hath faults with surplus to tire in repetition. Shouts within. What shouts are these? The other side of the city is risen. Why stay we prating here? To the capital! All. Come, come. First citizen. Soft. Who comes here? Enter Menenius Agrippa. Second citizen. Worthy Menenius Agrippa, one that hath always loved the people. First citizen. He's one honest enough, would all the rest were so. Menenius. What work, my countrymen, in hand? Where go you with bats and clubs? The matter? Speak, I pray you. First citizen. Our business is not unknown to the Senate. They have had inkling this fortnight what we intend to do, which now will show 'em in deeds. They say poor suitors have strong breaths. They shall know we have strong arms too. Menenius. Why, masters, my good friends, mine honest neighbors, will you undo yourselves? First citizen. We cannot, sir. We are undone already. Menenius. I tell you, friends, most charitable care have the patricians of you. For your wants, your suffering in this dearth, you may as well strike at the heaven with your staves as lift them against the Roman state, whose course will on the way it takes, cracking 10,000 curbs of more strong link asunder than can ever appear in your impediment. For the dearth, the gods, not the patricians, make it, and your knees to them, not arms, must help. Alack, you are transported by calamity. Thither, where more attends you, and you slander the helms of the state, who care for you like fathers, when you curse them as enemies. First citizen. care for us? True indeed, they ne'er cared for us yet. Suffer us to famish, and their storehouses crammed with grain, make edicts for usury to support usurers, repeal daily any wholesome act established against the rich, and provide more piercing statutes daily to chain up and restrain the poor. If the wars eat us not up, they will, and there's all the love they bear us. Menenius. Either you must confess yourselves wondrous malicious, or be accused of folly. I shall tell you a pretty tale. It may be you have heard it, but since it serves my purpose, I will venture to stale it a little more. First Citizen. Well, I'll hear it, sir. Yet you must not think to fob off our disgrace with a tale. But, an't please you, deliver. Menenius. There was a time when all the body's members rebelled against the belly thus accused it, that only like a gulf it did remain. If midst the body idle and unactive, still cupboarding the viand, never bearing, like labour with the rest, whereth other instruments did see and hear, devise, instruct, walk, feel, and mutually participate, did minister unto the appetite and affection common of the whole body. The belly answered. First Citizen. Well, sir, what answer made the belly? Menenius. Sir, I shall tell you. With a kind of smile, which ne'er came from the lungs, but even thus for, look you, I may make the belly smile as well as speak. It tauntingly replied. To'th discontented members, the mutinous parts, that envied his receipt, even so most fitly, as you malign our senators for that they are not such as you. First Citizen. Your belly's answer? What? The kingly crowned head, the vigilant eye, the counsellor hurt, the arm, our soldier, our steed, the leg, the tongue, our trumpeter, with other monuments and petty helps, in this our fabric, if that they. Menenius. What then? For me this fellow speaks. What then? What then? First Citizen. Should by the cormorant belly be restrained, who is the sink of the body. Menenius. Well, what then? First Citizen. The former agents, if they did complain, what could the belly answer? Menenius. I will tell you. If you'll bestow a small of what you have little patience a while, you'll hear the belly's answer. First Citizen. You are long about it? Menenius. Note me this, good friend. Your most grave belly was deliberate, not rash like his accusers, and thus answered. True it is, my incorporate friends, quoth he, that I receive the general food at first, which you do live upon, and fit it is, because I am the storehouse and the shop of the whole body. But if you do remember, I send it through the rivers of your blood, even to the court, the heart, to the seat of the brain,
and through the cranks and offices of man, the strongest nerves and small inferior veins, from me receive the natural competency. Whereby they live, and though that all at once, you, my good friends, this says the belly, mark me. First citizen. Aye, sir, well, well. Menenius. Thou all at once cannot see what I do deliver out of each, yet I can make my audit up, that all from me do back receive the flower of all, and leave me but the bran. What say you to it?
First citizen. It was an answer. How apply you this?
Menenius. The senators of Rome are this good belly, and you the mutinous members. For examine their counsels and their cares, digest things rightly, touching the well of the combo, and shalt find no public benefit which you receive, but it proceeds or comes from them to you, and no way from yourselves. What do you think, you, the great toe of this assembly?
First citizen.
Aye, the great toe. Why the great toe?
Menenius.
For that being one of the lowest, basest, poorest of the most wise rebellion, thou goest foremost, thou rascal that art worst in blood to run, leadest first to win some vantage, but make you ready your stiff bats and clubs. Rome and her rats are at the point of battle. The one side must have bail. Enter Caius Marcius. Hail, noble Marcius!
Marcius.
Thanks. What's the matter, you dissentious rogues, that rubbing the poor itch of your opinion make yourselves scabs?
First citizen.
We have ever your good word.
Marcius.
He that will give good words to thee will flatter, beneath abhorring. What would you have, you curs? That like nor peace nor war, the one affrights you, the other makes you proud. He that trusts to you, where he should find you lions, finds you hares. Where foxes, geese. You are no surer. No, then, is the coal of fire upon the ice, or hailstone in the sun. Your virtue is to make him worthy, whose offense subdues him, and cures that justice did it. Who deserves greatness deserves your hate, and your affections are a sick man's appetite, who desires most that which would increase his evil. He that depends upon your favours swims with fins of lead, and hews down oaks with rushes. Hang ye! Trust ye! With every minute you do change a mind, and call him noble that was now your hate, him vile that was your garland. What's the matter, that in these several places of the city you cry against the noble senate, who under the gods keep you in awe, which else would feed on one another? What's their seeking?
Menenius.
For corn at their own rates, whereof they say the city is well stored.
Marcius.
Hang 'em! They say? They'll sit by the fire and presume to know what's done in the capital, who's like to rise, who thrives, and who declines, side factions, and give out conjectural marriages, making parties strong, and feebling such as stand not in their liking. Below their cobbled shoes they say there's grain enough. Would the nobility lay aside their ruth, and let me use my sword, I'd make a quarry with thousands of these quartered slaves as high as I could pick my lance. Menenius. Nay, these are almost thoroughly persuaded, for though abundantly they lack discretion, yet are they passing cowardly. But I beseech you, what says the other troop? Marcius. They are dissolved. Hang 'em. They said they were hungry, sighed forth proverbs, that hunger broke stone walls, that dogs must eat. The meat was made for mouths, that the gods sent not corn for the rich men only. With these shreds they vented their complainings, with being answered, and a petition granted them, a strange one, to break the heart of generosity, and to make bold power look pale. They threw their caps as they would hang them on the horns of the moon, shouting their emulation. Menenius. What is granted them? Marcius. 5 tribunes to defend their vulgar wisdoms, of their own choice. One's Junius Brutus, Cincinius Volutus, and I know not. Sdeath, the rabble should have first unroofed the city, ere so prevailed with me, it will in time win upon power and throw forth greater themes for insurrections arguing. Menenius. This is strange. Marcius. Go, get you home, you fragments. Enter a messenger hastily. Messenger. Where's Caius Marcius? Marcius. Here. What's the matter? Messenger. The news is, sir, the Volskis are in arms. Marcius. I'm glad on 't. Then we shall have means to vent our musty superfluity. See our best elders. Enter Cincinius Volutus, Junius Brutus, Cominius, Titus Lartius, with other senators. First Senator. Marcius, 'tis true that you have lately told us the Volskis are in arms. Marcius. They have a leader, Tullus of Phidias, that will put you to it. I sin in envying his nobility, and were I anything but what I am, I would wish me only he. Cominius. You have fought together? Marcius. Were half to half the world by the ears, and he upon my party, I'd revolt to make only my wars with him. He is a lion that I'm proud to hunt. First Senator. Then, worthy Marcius, attend upon Cominius to these wars. Cominius. It is your former promise. Marcius. Sir, it is. And I am constant. Titus Lartius, thou shalt see me once more strike at Tullius's face. What art thou, stiff? Standest out. Titus. No, Caius Marcius, I'll lean upon one crutch and fight with t'other, ere stay behind this business. Menenius. O true bred. First Senator. Your company to the capital, where I know our greatest friends attend us. Titus to Cominius. Lead you on. To Marcius. Follow Cominius. We must follow you, right worthy you priority. Cominius. Noble Marcius. First Senator to the citizens. Hence to your homes, begone. Marcius. Nay, Let them follow. The Volskis have much corn. Take these rats thither to gnaw their garners. Worshipful mutineers, your valor puts well forth. Pray, follow. Exeunt. Citizens steal away. Menent, Sisinnius, and Brutus. Sisinnius. Was ever man so proud as is this Marsyas? Brutus. He has no equal. Sisinnius. When we were chosen tribunes for the people. Brutus. Marked you his lip and eyes? Sisinnius. Nay, but his taunts. Brutus. Being moved, he will not spare to gird the gods. Sisinnius. Bemock the modest moon. Brutus. The present wars devour him. He is grown too proud to be so valiant. Sisinnius. Such a nature, tickled with good success, disdains the shadow which he treads on at noon. But I do wonder his insolence can brook to be commanded under Cominius. Brutus. Fame, at the which he aims, in whom already he's well graced, cannot better be held, nor more attained, than by a place below the first. For what miscarries shall be the general's fault, though he perform to the utmost of a man, and giddy censure will then cry out of Marsyas, oh, if he had borne the business. Sisinnius. Besides, if things go well, opinion that so sticks on Marsyas shall of the demerits rob Cominius. Brutus. Come, half all Cominius's honors are to Marsyas, though Marsyas earned them not, and all his faults to Marsyas shall be honors, though indeed in aught he merit not. Sisinnius. Let's hence, and hear how the dispatch is made, and in what fashion, more than his singularity, he goes upon this present action. Brutus. Let's along. Exit. So that's just the opening scene of the first act, and already you get a feel that the mutinous people don't really have a clue what's going on, and don't understand that they should be more, I don't know, owing to the wars at hand and Marsyas's position in them, in defending the city and the people and making sure that their future is secured. They clash with this military guy. Like, you know, when you hear about when you read history, there was a lot of talk of Julius Caesar's ambition, that all the things he did for the people was for his own political gain and whatnot. But really, the two things went hand in hand. They're one and the same. You know, if he's made famous by the undertakings he pursues for the people, and they get these things, and then the people turn around and say, oh, he's just doing that to become famous. Well, if he's doing these things for the people, where would that fame not come from except from the people? Like, it's absurd. It's just like ungrateful people. You know what I mean? They, like, you know, today we would call the people voicing their complaints like that sort of like calling them armchair critics, kicking politics around and shit, right? And then you have a much wiser Menenius, who best knows not only the seasons but also the true characters of the senators and their and the nation's champion Marcius, who's not named Coriolanus at this point, not yet, and does a pretty good job at explaining that, look, if you're not going to support this guy, you're a bunch of stupid pricks, because basically, the Senate and the means through the military that is used to your benefit. None of the things that you receive comes through any other means. And basically he uses the metaphor of a stomach which receives all the food, which from that stomach feeds all the other parts of the body, right? And he's just basically saying, look, none of your holidays, none of your benefits, none of this shit that keeps you alive, you're gonna, it comes through your government first. And that's the thing you tend to forget. You sit back and you're afraid of war, but at the same time when there's peace you're always shooting your fucking mouth off like you know something. And there's like a real subtle way Menenius kind of, he's not as contemptuous as Marcius, right? But he's like saying in a subtle way, look, hey, take it easy. Like, who do you think you are? Right? Shut up and take what's going around, because we're the ones who are providing it. Don't forget it. And, meanwhile, Marcius is like, fucking hang him. Hang him up on a fucking tree. His attitude is like, he's a soldier, right? So he's like, what the fuck do they know what's happening in the Capitol? What the fuck do they know about what's there to be provided in that? They sit back and criticize and fucking they get all scared when they think the war's near, right? But at the same time, when there's peace, all they do is sit around and criticize their leaders. Fuck them. That's his attitude, right? Like, it's not good, right? But the thing is, what this tale proves is that when you read the rest of the play, you realize that this guy is like total kick-ass. Like, he's the guy you want to send in to do the job, right? He's got no love of the fucking people. He knows they don't fucking deserve it half of the time, right? So he's like, look, I'll go in and do the fucking job. Just let me do my job because I like my job. Fuck you and fuck the people. Just, you need me like I need you, but I'm not going to kiss your ass. So go fuck yourself. That's Marcius. Later to become Coriolanus. And later in the square, there's that scene that, like when they'd come back from battle with the scars on their arms and shit, spear wounds and shit, those were like badges of like saying, this is what I got during the wars. What do you got? Get the fuck out of my way. Shut the you know what I mean? Like, just, what are you talking about? You bunch of bitches, right? And he would like, that would be the way, say you wanted a position, like if you were to become consul or a tributary tribune of an area. One of the ancient things they would do is show the people the scars that they took on during the fight to protect those people, right? And they're saying, look, and that's what the people would demand. Show us your scars. It became, like, it has significance, but it became kind of mechanical, right? And in that scene, like, Marcius is like, he doesn't even want to be there, He's like, yeah, here's my scars. I got them in the war. I would be consul. What do you think? He's sort of like, yeah, fucking, let's get this over with. Are we going to be consul or not? And, and the people that came to, to right, because they have to feel like they have the authority to grant him that power. They have to feel important, right? That he's asking their favors so that he may become consul, right? But meanwhile, he's like, let's stop the fucking bullshit, all right? You want me in or out? Here's my fucking scars. Here's my cock too. Suck it, and let's get on with this, right? He's like, that's that's the thing about this guy. He, on one hand, he's highly effective, right? He's going to go into battle and fucking lead his men to victory and come back with the spoils of war, throw it at the people's feet and say, fucking leave me alone now. Okay? You happy? Shut the fuck up, right? Right? It's, so it's like a paradox of how the people should feel about this character. But he has no patience to make them understand the necessity, right? He doesn't love them, that's for sure, right? And especially when they start complaining after he goes through his shit. Like, he's like, fuck them, What are you even telling me that they're complaining for? I don't want to hear their shit. Like, he'd just as soon run a sword through them, right? Or hang them on a fucking tree and then go eat dinner, It's hard to explain. It's not... You realize... How do I put it? I can really feel this fucking character, but at the same time you realize it's not good. He might be highly effective and all that. And he might even be brutally honest. But it's not going to end well. It's not going to end well because the people will eventually... They'll orchestrate some sort of demise, and when he experiences it, no one's going to shed a tear. But he might know that ahead of time, so he's already like, fuck you, and oh, by the way, fuck you. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I remember, God, it's years ago. Let's see. Well, this one, yeah, I picked up in, oh, fuck. Jeez, that's a long time ago, 2001. And yeah, by the time I hit the first page, I was just blown away. Like, whoa, this is something different. I think people know of it. There's been a couple of movies that covered it, but it's not one of the big, really popular Shakespeare plays. But it's a good one. It's got some elements in that aren't in a lot of the other stories, especially this Marsyas character, later to become Coriolanus. Anyway, just thought I'd check it out. It was interesting. Yeah, but a lot can be said about that in our modern times too. Like, expect the armchair shithead, right? Expect him to fucking understand the military engagements that are being put into play right now as we speak, right? People want to get out fucking picket signs, right? Basically just saying, war bad, war not good. No shit! But you're not the one fighting it, so shut the fuck up, Just like, you don't understand, you can't understand. And even if you did understand, you might not be resolute enough to stand up and do what you have to do, no matter how you feel about it. That's Marsyas. That's that kind of character, right? I don't. It begs the question, right? Like, it's sort of like you wonder, is that kind of character still present somewhere in the mix today with what's going on? I fucking hope so. I fucking hope so. And I hope he fucking rears his head soon before all our fucking cocks fall off. Motherfuckers.